All right, folks, after enjoying the highest highs and the lowest lows in the previous league, featuring some turn 2 kills and featuring also drawing our only Emrakul against Mill out of 66 cards. Highest highs and lowest lows. But it's okay. All of that is now behind us, and we are going to be playing another league. Did I make any change to the list? Now. The same list that I just made. Cover Live is not working though. Okay, never mind. It is working now. Okay, sweet. So now I updated. Maybe? Yes, updated. Sweet. Awesome. The big Y is my opponent. How do I sequence this hand? What matters and what doesn't? I think I'm just gonna... I want to play AmuLIT in 1, but I think I'm going to play it off of the Vestige. The reason for this is we already have a bounce land, so this castle should be fine. And we don't know what we're up against, so if we are up against a deck against which... sad. If we're up against a deck against which like our damage does matter, just like this deck, then maybe we want to not fetch for a duel and fetch for a basic instead. And also, if we're playing against a deck in which the Natty Balakut on a Dryad can do some damage, then I'm also interested in that. So this is going to be an interesting turn because it's going to determine whether I want to play explosives on 1 or whether I want to just castle. That sucks for me. I think I'm just going to play explosives on 1, but I'm going to try to not crack it. Because if I can crack it next turn, I can crack it with a Primeval Titan in play. Maybe I should have played it for 2? The thing is that if my opponent spends their turn playing the Sprite Dragon, it's probably not that big of a deal. So my opponent's probably going to try to play a bunch of spells here just to force me to crack. And probably if they force me to crack, the game is just over and I lose. But Storming Entity is just such a beating. Yeah, triple Metamorphosis is also very much a beating. Ugh. Am I literally dead here? I think I may be actually just dead. Yep. We are forced to crack this engineered explosives. Because otherwise my opponent just opts. I guess I should have waited for my opponent to opt so they don't get to spend their turn casting Swift Spear here. Wait, are we just dead here? I think we're just dead. I'm kind of off it. All of these are good. This can go, this can go. Ghost Quarter can go. Boss MTG, thank you for the follow. Okay. Okay. Turn 1 Radiant Fountain. Turn 2 Dryad. Turn 3 gain more life off Radiant Fountain. Turn 4 Titan. Swipe my opponent's board. Not bad. If we draw something like a Gracer, that would be awesome. Dryad's probably not very likely to survive, isn't it? It's not bad. Certainly not bad. I'm still gonna play Semi-Growth Chamber here, because if my opponent has an answer for the AmuLIT, I want to make sure that I can cast Dryad next turn anyway. Okay, probably light up the stage here. Okay, this is good. This I can work with. This I can work with. My opponent not having the silly flyers is obviously also great for me. So we're gonna do this, and now there's a question: do I want to castle, or do I want to growth chamber? If I growth chamber here, no, I want a castle, right? Because if my opponent doesn't have an answer to the AmuLIT, I just have more mana next turn. In fact, even if they kill my Dryad, if they don't answer the AmuLIT, then we just get to Dryad plus Titan thanks to this castle. So yeah, it's 100% correct to play the castle. Looking good, looking good. Looking good. We're not gonna block these Soulscar mages. My opponent's gonna have to use some actual removal spells on this Dryad. And I don't think that just these two Soulscar mages are gonna be able to make the full 20. No blocks. Bolt face. Well, that has to mean Aether Gust, right? Playing our own Spell Pierce here. And I'm not playing around double Spell Pierce. They can't have Dispute. They could have Mana Leak. There's no way they're playing Mana Leak, right? Actual no way that my opponent's playing Mana Leak here. Oh, he just had nothing. Sweet. Got there. Should I be playing around Blood Moon? Just one pactable answer to Moon. Turn to Weaver. Let's go. Finally, it's your time to shine, Spider. It's your time to shine, Spider. Let's go. Gracer off the top. Dismember. That's very sexy. Yeah, let's do that. It's gonna save us a little bit too much life, I think, to not do that right now. Is Weaver good? I don't know. We're gonna find out together. Haven't been to the stream for a while. Happy we're still playing AmuLIT. Hell yeah. Why would we not? AmuLIT's great. Mr. Sir with a tier 1 sub. Almost baby. Big time. Well, that's very interesting. Should I have dismembered last turn? It's possible I should have dismembered last turn. Every time I ask myself if I should kill a Sprite Dragon, the answer is always yes. Yeah, it's possible you're just right. I should have killed it on end step. I would have been able to gain 2 there and gain more value off of the semi-growth chamber. Yeah, that was just a bad line. Excuse me, what? Is that how that works? Alright, this card is, I guess, a little bit worse than I thought. That sucked. So I guess this ball just doesn't actually do damage? Replacement effect? Well, that sucks. Eesh. That's really bad. As a Harvin Scales player, I know the pain. Brutal. Yeah, okay, I'm not so much into this one anymore. Maybe we can try the other one. We can try Arasta. Arasta has proved to be actually fine against them. I haven't hated Arasta against them. Alright, Saproling, let's get in there. Good job, Saproling. Good job. Prime time. Technically not dead, I guess. The best kind of not dead. Obviously. Not a great start. Out of here. In there. This one is actually pretty solid. I've tried Arasta in the green-white, in the Titan Vial decks, and Arasta actually did some good work against Prowess. Too bad, because that spider did make a lot of sense in theory, but after just seeing it in practice, I'm just not into it. Keep this, bottom that, hope to Lucksack. I guess I should have kept Lurrus instead of Ghost Squatter. Yeah, should have kept US instead of Ghost Squatter. Is that Bagels? Sweet, okay. Now the question, the real question is, can I manage to draw literally anything that matters? Okay, step number 1. Can we draw a Primeval Titan? Can we draw... I guess TOS doesn't do it per se. They're suiting up the Scout? They should definitely be suiting up the Spirit Dancer. Prime time off the top, nice and easy. Prime time, right here. Should I go score to the canopy? I don't think so. Probably not yet. Hyena Umbra. You got it. Rancor. Am I dead? I am dead. Just baiting to see how many plays they have, how many basics they have, but we're just at here. Only 2 basics. Okay. Of course. Honestly, it makes sense for us to lose to Prowess because I said earlier today that their Prowess was basically a buy for us. So I deserve this, obviously. It's only logical. It's only logical for me to lose to Prowess now. What do we got here? Sure. We got explosives, we got Sage. Explode looks fine here. Interesting. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna do this. It's just very, very likely that I'm gonna be using explosives to blow up their stuff, right? So. F's in chat for me. Awkward, man. It's awkward. Good thing is my opponent doesn't have good attacks. Never mind. Thank you for the follow. An Italian guy. AmuLIT. Explore. Explosives. So I'm gonna play explosives on 1, but I'm just not gonna pop it unless I have to. Because if we find a bounce line, I can just back for dry and I can cast a Titan, so that seems better. Can take 2 here. Just need a green source. They don't put Lurrus in hand. They do not put Lurrus in hand. Hyena Umbra. Again, this doesn't matter. So this is just fine. Now my opponent's dead. All right, let's do this. Okay, I'm into this. Very similar hand to the previous one, actually, which is funny. So I'm gonna go turn 1. Huh. I think I'm gonna go turn 1 explosives because I think it's gonna change the way my opponent plays pretty drastically. It also plays around my opponent having Gadoktig. Rancor. Yeah, if this is all they do, then I'm just not interested in cracking this. So we're just gonna do Giant, play Explore. Okay. So now we can transmit for prime time if we want to. Bit Hype Streams, thank you for the follow. Finally, star on Mo. Looking for the first deck, then I saw AmuLIT is a good option for small price. You have another good option. There are some good options out there right now. I think there are some solid options out there. I think that you basically want to try to focus on a deck that you like to play. That's probably the most important thing. Don't like, because you can be AmuLIT, right? But if you don't enjoy playing AmuLIT, like you're just not gonna have a good time. So I think this is fine. We can crack now because my opponent doesn't have any Umbras, so we're just basically trading 2 for 1, which is fine. We're also keeping our life total high. We already have a second explosives at hand. Second Boggle, that's fine. No, they suit it up with Rancor. So this means we get to Titan, which is great. So I guess I'm just gonna play explosives again, right? Just play explosives number 2. Dryad Arbor. Guess I'm just taking it here. See what my opponent does. We can crack on end step if we want to, or we can just not do anything, which is probably what I'm gonna be doing. Yeah, they put Lurrus in hand, so I'm just not gonna do anything. Just gonna untap, cast my Primeval Titan. We're gonna find Radiant Fountain and Semi-Growth Chamber. I'm gonna bounce the Lurrus, so this sets up the next Titan. So if my opponent has Path to Exile for the prime time, we're still fine. Probably don't have Path to Exile for the prime time though. Spider Umbra doesn't do anything. That one does do something, but at the same time it just doesn't do anything, so that's great. It's a good combination for us. Just gonna take my chump here. One, two, three, four. Yes. Blow up their Umbra. Play land. We unfortunately have to play the land pre-combat, which is a little bit awkward, but it's fine. Radiant Fountain, and I guess I can Vesuva for another fountain. This would bring us up to 8 life. We can crack if we need to. Yeah, I guess this is fine. Just gotta make sure that we don't just randomly die. So now they can Lurrus, and they can suit up the Dryad Arbor, or they can suit up the Lurrus itself. What is this, 5? Yeah, I'll trade. And now we just Dryad for lethal, because we know the last card in hand is Lurrus. Someone respect, get a Dryad, 1, 2, 3, this thing, attack. Valakut, Valakut. Target is your face. No Bujuki Ball, I cut it. Bujuki Ball just does not matter in the matchup. You don't need to Rex Sage pre-combat if you're gonna EE anyways. My opponent had an Umbra in their dude. AmuLIT is annoying to learn MTGO, the triggers are triggering. I find the exact opposite, Steve Strain. I find the exact opposite. I feel like AmuLIT is great to learn on Magic Online. I feel like my understanding of the deck just became significantly better. I also made an entire video about how to play AmuLIT on MTGO, like how to specifically play AmuLIT. You can find it on my YouTube channel. The Bogles still dies to the block, but what if my opponent doesn't block and then they untap and they attack me? If I know. Then you Rex Sage M2? No, because I can't Rex Sage at sorcery speed. What if they have another Umbra? Or like a protection from creatures spell? Well, this seems like a pretty good hand. I will go ahead and call this a good hand. Hopefully we're playing against an aggressive style deck. Oh. Or maybe we're playing the mirror. Knowing that this is game 1 in the mirror match, it's going to be really hard for my opponent to win this. The only way that they can possibly win is if they have Ghost Quarter. It looks like they don't. One, two, three, four, five, six. What do you think about changing your win value to put Queller? I mean, if you want me to splash colors on a deck that I don't like splashing colors, I'm just gonna tell you that I wouldn't do it. You can do whatever you want, obviously. I think that you're just making the deck worse. There are no synergies. Spellcaller has no synergies whatsoever with what the deck is trying to do. We are on the draw, so I guess I won dismembers. I'm gonna play a little bit slower. I have to assume that my opponent's gonna be bringing in Ramen of Excavator. But I'm not gonna play around it. Yeah, I was gonna haze with Valakuts, and then I was gonna get a fetch land. Sand looks slightly slow, but good enough to keep. Untap land? Never lucky. My opponent has the double AmuLIT hand now. That's funny. I had the double AmuLIT hand game 1, and now they are the ones that have it. I mean, if we find force, we may be in business. If I'm not actually just dead here, which is possible. Which is certainly possible for me to be dead. Explore, Asusa. Oh, yes! Yes! Imagine if that were an Asusa, chat. Imagine if that had been an Asusa. I guess that my opponent lock stacked into the only card that allows them to Titan, but... Okay, so the last card is a bounce land. I have to dodge Primeval Titan or wait for them to answer my amulet. But if they fight something like Dryad or whatever, we're fine. Why fetch? Why would they fetch there for no reason whatsoever? It's a good top deck. That was a good top deck from them for sure. What time is tomorrow's stream? I don't know, after the podcast is done. Could we go off with Pack for Gracer turn 2 somehow? No. We're short. And then we would die to our own we would die to our Pack to our own upkeep. Because I had to spend my mana to Amulet, right? Because this center tapped. Now we are on the play. You start work at 3? Awkward. Can you do Thursday steps? Maybe I can do 2 other Dono Leagues tomorrow, and then we can do Thursday. Would that work? Yeah, keeping this. Hella keeping this. Hold the double amulet hands all the time. Thursday before 3. Yeah, Thursday at 11, just like my usual starting time. So if we find a bounce land here, do we win? I don't think so, but can we? No, we can. I'm just gonna do colorless, green. I'm just gonna play out my Dryad. Play my land and say go. This also prevents me from dying here, which is nice. Would absolutely love to draw a bounce land. Totally love it. What a matchup. Yeah, the mirror is super weird. Sometimes it's like fun and intricate, and sometimes it's just a shit show. I've played some really good mirror matches. I played some really good mirror matches that were like super tight, and like my decisions matter, my opponent's decisions mattered, and then sometimes you just play a mirror and nothing just matters. Like here, for example, like this, it's just whatever. But at this point, it's just bounce land or bust, right? I guess I can Vesuva. 1, 2. Go squatter here, 3, 4, 5. So I guess we can't go squatter now. And I kind of want... This gives me one more out. So I kind of want my opponent to keep their Vesuva in place. Might as well attack. No, I'm holding up go squatter. So if I attack, my opponent just blocks with the Gracer and I can't activate Stronghold, so... No, Castle doesn't do it because this turns my lands into forests, so Castle would actually enter untapped. It would, in this situation, it would be bad for Castle to to enter untapped. AmuLIT Mirror, let's go, yeah. You'll love to see it. Seshiro the Anointed. So it's like a snake with a bunch of hands. For a second I thought that this was like a thumbs up, which I thought was kind of hilarious. Opponent bounced the Vestige. We can GQ this Stronghold. We're gonna see how experienced my opponent is in the matchup here. So they go for haste, and I think I'm gonna take the Garrison. Because my opponent can just Vesuva my own Stronghold. If I were then I would have gotten Go Squatter. Because now if I find a bounce land, I just win. And they should have bounced the Simic Growth Chamber. Now I still have the answer to draw Vesuva. So my opponent seems to not be very experienced in the AmuLIT Mirror. Bounce land for the win. Or just, sure. That's also fine. Technically not dead. Two packs for 2 Florahedrons. I guess that would technically get me there. If they don't have their own Dryad, or they don't have a way to remove my Dryad, maybe we're still in this. Not very experienced because they missed the one Vesuva related out. Well, there's more than that, right? There's the fact that, you know, they should have gotten Ghost Quarter on the first trigger instead of going for haste. Like, it just doesn't matter. Like, with me having 3 lands, the only thing that matters is for me to find a bounce land, right? So the only way that I can possibly win this game is if I draw a bounce land. So that being the case, you want to make sure, you want to cut my outs. My opponent is worrying too much about winning, and they don't realize that as long as I don't win, they can't lose, right? So by cutting my outs to winning, they are guaranteeing their win. Again, we're still at a point where if I find a bounce and I just win the game. And I had no business winning this game. Actually, bounce land or Vesuva, like either one of them, I'm fine. And I could just... I guess what they can do here is they can transmute for engineered explosives and blow up my amulets. So that's probably the line. Summoner's Pact for Rexage. They need to Rex Sage and AmuLIT, yeah. Okay, that part at least they played well. One too late. Actually, no. Yeah, we still win, sweet. Awesome. One, two, three, red, white, haste, serve. Yeah, I should have never won that game. But it's what happens, right? It is what happens. Like, that is what playing the matches is all about. Like, I've been playing this deck for a while, and I know how to approach the matchup, and I know what I need to do in order to win from a situation like that. Panda Atomic, thank you for the follow. So, I'm not faulting my... That was basically just... That was basically just showing off the importance of practice and with a deck like AmuLIT and stuff like that. Like, it's not that the person with a better hand will always win, because my opponent's hand was just better than mine, but they failed to assess what mattered at each point in the game. You kind of lost on open info. Not really. It was just they didn't address what mattered. They didn't correctly address what mattered. That's what it was. That's what it was. They didn't correctly address what mattered. And if they had, then they would have basically locked me out of winning. They simply would have just locked all of my outs, and I would just lost because I just couldn't win. But they were too busy on trying to figure out how to kill me instead of figuring out how I kill them. Playing against Lurrus of the Dream Den. Keep this hand, bottom that. Am I playing against Mill again? I'm totally playing against Mill again, right? Love this list. This is what I'm playing, and I feel like it has all the power. What do you think? By the way, hello everyone. Yeah, Hitlex. I mean, this list is okay. I didn't like the Spider. Like, we got paired against the Prowess deck, and the Spider was just kind of embarrassing. So I'm gonna try the other Spider now. Arasta, I think it's kind of okay. So I'm just gonna do like a little Spider switch. Wait. What? Prowess triggers? Fuck that. I don't want any of that free value. No, this is the league when I finally got paired against Prowess, so I'm playing Spore Web Weaver. Heh. Don't thoughts me, bro. Prowess Gaming. Exactly. Untap land? No untap land. All right, I guess we have to explore here. Looking for an untapped land, so I can. Excellent, excellent. I mean, I would imagine that the damage always matters more, right? Unless you're looking for lands, I guess. But if you're looking for lands, I don't know. I mean, maybe the bubble first made sense. I don't know. Never they're kind of flooded, but if they're kind of flooded, then why the hell did they keep the hand? I think I'm cracking here just so I don't have to deal with the Scourge. What are we doing here? Attack here. I can haste. If I haste, I can't double tighten. I'm 1 mana short of double tightening. So, what does that mean? If I attack, my opponent doesn't block, I open myself up to TBR, which I don't want to happen. I don't think I'm interested in bullying my opponent. We could set up double strike. I mean, we can't now, but we could have set up double. No, I know, I guess we couldn't. Yeah, never mind. We can't set up double strike. We're 1 minute short of setting up double strike. So I think I'm just going to Tolari West and transmute. We're just winning next turn, right? So I'm just going to use my mana. I'm going to force my opponent to have double Thoughtseize in order to not lose. And then we're going to pass the turn. So if they have double Thoughtseize, they kill me, but I don't think that they can. There's a combination. I guess double Dismember plus land plus TBR. Yeah, if they have double Dismember plus land plus TBR, I lose. Roxa. Got me. Now what? Now this is just good games. Do you have Black Force, opponent? Is that what's up? Please tell me you have Black Force. I would be very, very excited if you had Black Force, opponent. Or is my opponent just reduking hard? If they're reduking, I'm game, right? I never miss an opportunity for killing my opponent's creatures instead of killing them. Always the correct line. To kill your opponent's creatures instead of them. Always the correct line. Imagine if Wizards would let you just not click a billion times to cast Titan off of the castle. Don't worry about it. Is Emrakul better than all the other Titans? Depends on what you want this slot to do. If not, how will you deal with those 13 shadows? Yeah, no, they're bigger than a Titan, right? They lose to your value, just have 16 making sure you don't misclick or something at that point. Yeah, I mean, they're just losing time, right? They're just wasting time. That's the only value that they're missing. Has the most tentacles, that's true. Tentacle superiority is definitely an important factor when I'm building my decks. I want to make sure that the tentacle count is as high as possible at all times. No dismembers? No, I don't think that they're very good in this matchup. I like the Promised Land. Yeah, but the Promised Land doesn't shuffle your deck and doesn't help you beat Infinite Life. Do you think Toski could be good against control matchups? In AmuLIT? No. Definitely not. Every time you make a land, a Emrakul grows another tentacle. Didn't you know? Oh, is that true? Sweet. This is the best Emrakul deck then, because this is the deck that makes the most land drops, and it's the one that is going to make the most tentacles, I guess. That's exciting. It's very exciting. Am I keeping this? I think I am. It's not the best hand I've ever seen, but like knowing the matchup and knowing what matters in the matchup, this is just a fine keep. Now the question is, well, what do we lead on? I think we're gonna lead on Valakut, because I don't know yet if I want to play this T-West out or I want to hold it in hand. Valakut, I just know that I'm gonna be playing out, so. Also, here's my food. Great. Having drawn second till Layer West obviously changes what I literally just said, because now I have a second blue source. Did my SO make my food? The stuff's from my heart. Oh, she didn't do it today, but most other days, yes, she does. We have an emote for her. There is some lore in the channel. There is some lore in the channel that says that my wife is actually a robot that was created by my brother. And she's the one that brings the food. How greedy is to cast EE turn 1? It depends on what I'm trying to do. Like, am I trying to play around this card? If so, then it is the correct play. The problem is that, like, honestly, my opponent should have taken my Explore when they thought seized me. If they had taken my Explorer, I would have spent my second turn playing Explosives on 1. My opponent didn't take the Explosives with the Thoughtseize, so I have to assume that they have something planned. I don't know if he's still making them. There's so much love. I don't know if he's still making wives. So many options here. We can transmute for a bounce land. The problem I have with transmuting for a bounce land is that if I play it out, then we are still in the same spot next turn. The thing is that we can draw Vesuva at that point, and that would be a good draw for us. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna play AmuLIT, and I'm gonna play out the Tellurian West, and then I'm gonna cast Azusa. This puts a blocker on the board, and if I find a green bounce land, or any bounce land for that matter, no, I guess it has to be green. Yeah, it has to be green. If I find a green bounce land, we win, which is great. And if I don't find a green bounce land, if I find any other bounce land next turn, I can spend it transmuting. So I think this is the line that gives me the highest chance of winning, I think. Because this also frees up the explosives so I can kill the Scourge, which is a lot more threatening than the Swift Spear. Otherwise, I'm kind of forced into exploding on 1. I'm not playing the AmuLIT. Will change your Titan for Time Spiral? Probably, yeah. If I can find copies, yes. They could have Dismember, but if they have Dismember, we still win. Because what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go. I still have the Summoner's Pact in my hand, so I'm gonna attack. I'm gonna deal them 8. If they dismember this, they go down to 1, and they get tapped out. If they don't dismember this, then I'm going to Pact for Dryad, and I'm gonna be able to play 1 extra land drop, and that extra land drop is gonna kill them because I have double Valakut. So all of our bases are covered. And after that, they're down to 4. Obviously, they just can't cast the Dismember anymore. So. And my opponent doesn't have Revolt enabled, so they can't actually stop me from killing them here. Pew, I say. Pew. There you go. Pew, I say. Red Snoopy, thank you for the follow. OG Titan is best Titan, you trader. Well, but it's OG Titan with OG Border. So it's like the best of both worlds. How is Sun Rift Hydra in the new meta? Still an auto-include? Yes. Yes. I think that I'm testing this experimental version that plays Primeval Titan over Oran Reef Hydra, but I'm not sure I like the Primeval Titan better than the Hydra. I think that the Hydra is just way too powerful. Very, very good against Blood Moon decks. It's just a great addition to any deck. Honestly, any green deck. I'm surprised to not see Jaunt players working on the Hydra tech. This hand is developing nicely, I think. This hand is developing nicely. Oh no, school crack? Ugh, lag. Come on. Yeah, this is gonna be the last league of the day. Usually Mondays I stream a little bit shorter because I have a student that I need to drive to the house. And that was just a grammatical nightmare, right? I have a student whose house I need to drive to. Is that better? Sure. Was a nice stream. Yeah, sure, Hatelex. Always great to have you here. Same. Love you as well. The love is mutual. Turn 1 Grazer is just so nuts against burn. Set this as 0 because it is the passive voice. Active voice is easier. How was yesterday? I couldn't win a game. I think I did win. No, I did win some games, but I mostly did a lot of losing. Giant. Play Dryad. Play Valakut. F6. In case you're wondering, that was a good draw. Nice little 4-on-1 for the home team. Pew pew, you say. Who's the burn player now? Do I have lethal here? Opponents are virtual 18, so I can attack them. Yeah, this is lethal. And I can even gain 2, which is nice. And this just plays around Path to Exile better, right? If I go all in on the Valakut thing and my opponent paths my Dryad, Boldface. Okay, so now they are dead. Awesome. The Epistle with the subscription. Thank you so much, The Epistle. Welcome back to the Primetime Stronghold for the 12th month. Finally, a full year. Thank you. Thank you so much for the support. Valakut plus US level. Yeah, but this also allows me to gain 2 life, and it's also lethal, right? And it's better in case my opponent has Path to Exile for the Dryad, because I'm at 2 more life, so maybe it's a little bit less likely for me to die. No, thank you, The Epistle. Thank you for the support. Okay, so I like the main deck a lot. I like the main deck a lot. Sideboard. These are the question marks. This is mostly theoretical thinking for both of these. This one is a little bit more practical thinking, but this one is very, very much theoretical thinking. The rest of the sideboard looks fine to me. The only one that I'm not sold on is Raminep Excavator. I'm just not sure that this is where I want to be. I'm not sure this is the fight that I want to be fighting. And I'm not sure that enough decks out there are trying to kill us or trying to beat us in a way that Raminep Excavator stops. Like there's the control decks, there is like Tron and stuff like that, but I don't think that enough decks to warrant Raminep Excavator are like steady and consistent consistently present in the format. That's what I wanted to say. What's with my English today? What is the anti-Titan deck in the meta at the moment? Heliod is bad, and so is Mill. Did you play Hivemind earlier today? No, I don't think Hivemind is playable. So yeah, these are the question marks. I think I would still play these cards right now. I don't think that there are other cards that I would rather play instead of these ones. Maybe a third copy of December. That's the only card that I am kind of excited to have access to if I could make room for it. But everything else, it's kind of fine. Like these are just fine cards too. Like they're just okay. Emrakul is the only one that it's just maybe a little bit too theoretical, too progressive. Maybe Emrakul is the only one that is a little bit too progressive. But no, I don't think I'd like a second force in this metagame. Yeah, I don't think I would like that. Hammer has kind of disappeared a little bit, which I'm very surprised by. Excuse me, which I'm very surprised by. I don't know why Hammer kind of basically fell off the cliff. The only person that's doing well with Hammer now is Laplace John. And basically everybody else kind of gave up on Hammer or something. No, I don't think I'd like to have access to the third tracker. Like, tracker is fine, but I don't think I want a third copy. Like, I don't think a third copy is a lot better than like the 2 copies that I'm playing right now. Hammer doesn't level the mid-range deck running around 2EH. Yeah, it's possible. I don't know. I played Hammer exactly once, so I honestly don't know what its good and bad matchups, etc. are. But yeah, there seems to be a lot of Prowess and there seems to be a lot of aggro. Prowess and Burn are the decks that we have seen the most. Heliod is also the best deck in the format, but it doesn't see that much play in leagues, which surprises me. But besides that, this list kind of covers most bases that I want covered, which is why I like it. Symbiosis is fine, maybe we can fit a second copy of Symbiosis, but I don't think I would want to fit a second copy of Symbiosis over any of my lands. If I play a second Symbiosis, it would be over the Explosives and just play 2 Explosives in the sideboard instead of playing the 1 in the main deck. I don't think this is necessary by any means. I don't think this is a necessity. I think it's nice to have, but I don't think it's necessary. We went 4-on-1. Played against Burn. Usually an easy matchup. But yeah, folks, that's gonna be it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.